Because of diligence, the scrutiny you all had in reviewing these deliverables and ensuring that we have documentation that will not only suit Gambia for the present but into the future. We worked very rigorously, tirelessly to ensure that we have something that we can always bank on, something superior, something that will guarantee the protection of the critical information infrastructure in the Gambia. I want to thank you all for your dedication, and we want to assure you that you will definitely get very good feedbacks on all your outputs for the validation to ensure that we have something workable and something suitable for us. We want to show our thankfulness as Qualisys Consulting for giving us this opportunity to serve you. Quality is our trademark, and we always want to ensure that we are not just cutting corners, we are delivering quality and also taking into consideration all your feedbacks in ensuring that we serve you with the best. And we will never take our relationship for granted. We still call upon you to always, respond to our call whenever we need you. We would require you stakeholders, even in subsequent engagement, and we want quality engagement like this so that we can have quality outputs at the end of the day. So once more, we say thank you all for making our engagement with you a very enjoyable one, a very worthwhile one. I pray God bless you in all your endeavors, and we hope to have further engagements that will be fruitful and that we'll all appreciate doing. So once again, we thank you all for giving us this opportunity to serve you, and we say thank you again.
We continue to communicate with the project team so that this activity can go all the way through. This is phase 1 and 2 that you validated. Of course, we hope to get your support for the remaining phases throughout this process. So thank you once again for your contributions. And thank you to, of course, Mogdi for fantastic facilitation of this activity. It's been really going well. And thanks to Qualisys for a wonderful job. I hope that we can do more activities together, in fact. And thanks for GICTA also to for showing their support and even having representations. I was just cracking a joke about how the boss was giving a certificate to, but it was nice. It's really lovely to be here, and so thank you all from WADIP as well, and hope we can work closer together to build a more digitally resilient Gambia. So appreciate you. Thank you.
I'm sure they want to kickstart there. We can. But just allow me maybe a few minutes to say a few things. For me, I come from a policy implementation perspective. First, I just want to thank all of you, both those officials and participants coming from the public sector and also those coming from the private sector. Most particularly, I first want to recognize the wonderful work and coordination that has been done by the Directorate of Cybersecurity at the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. Over the past few weeks, we should definitely recognize how busy they have been, right? With the risk management workshop that recently concluded at our office, and then coming to this validation. I was just telling my brother, Director Sanusi Drame, that each time we come to cybersecurity directorate events, I feel like some of us are not doing a lot, right? And I remember, I keep saying this workshop is important, or this validation is important. When we were doing the child and vulnerable group online safety validation, at Ozone Bay with lawyers, right? It was a very tough one, and everybody was saying this is one of the most important because, let's face it, everybody here is online. Almost 80% of who you are is online. Almost all our children have got their footprint online nowadays, right? If you go to our homes nowadays, you find children fighting over our cell phones, right? You find children fighting over control of the remote control of the TVs, right? To go to different channels online. And this is something which is great, because a few years ago, people like us, probably I'm not all that old, but we don't used to play with smartphones, right? We don't used to play with TVs, right? We used to have karkaro. How many of you remember, right? We used to have karkaro. That's what we are running around in town. Or we have a self-made football, right? Where you take racks, right? You just tie them together and we go out and start playing. That's what some of us, our generation, have gone through. But this generation is different. All that they play around with, and even the elderly people, all our lives are now governed by the digital world. At our homes, at our offices, at the market, on road, in the air, we are always online. And as a government, the government have got a very big ambition on digitizing our civil service, digitizing the public sector. And also with a vision of creating a digital economy. And if you are to create a digital economy, that means that almost every aspect of our lives is going to be governed by the digital world. So as a result, we tend to focus so much on the applications, on the technologies that enhance and facilitate that digital economy, or that facilitate how we provide our civil service. And we tend to forget about one of the most important pillars, or one of the most important component of that digital world, which is the cybersecurity aspect. So as a result, the training that we did last week on risk management, and also the validation that has been done here in the last 2 days, trying to validate the CII regulation, the CII protection policy, and also the risk assessment guidelines. These are very important to help us formalize how we protect ourselves in the digital world, in the cyberspace. So to safeguard critical information infrastructure against cyber threats and disruptions. I don't know how many of you have experienced what I experience always, most of the time. I'm happy we have people from the commercial banks here. How many of you have been to an ATM and you are in dire need of cash? The banks are not open, you don't have anything at home, but you have your plastic card, you have your credit card. You put it, you slot it at the ATM, and the ATM tells you that unable to dispense cash. How many of you have experienced that, right? So we all experience that. Not once. I'm sorry if you are from the commercial banks. This is not an attack, but it's to show the importance of safeguarding our critical information infrastructure. Imagine if all those ATMs are down during the weekend. For some of us who go to party, right, during the weekend, and you don't have money, right? And you need the ATMs to give you money, and you cannot get anything from the ATM. I understand my brother is from the airport, civil aviation. Think about if the tower control systems are down. Will we be able to have any aircraft landing? Probably not, right? So this shows you how important, safeguarding critical information infrastructure is. And to help do that is, of course, to put together the policies, the regulations, and the guidelines, so that at least all that we do is formalized and is in line. So on that note, I would want to thank all of you on behalf of the government, on behalf of the ministry. I know the director will speak more on behalf of the ministry, but for us as an ICT agency from an implementation point of view, we are so grateful that this set of people, participants, are here and had validated these documents, because at the end of the day, the documents are meant for them to be operationalized, and you are the people that are going to operationalize it. So having your say in how the documents should look like is something so much important. So I would want to outline the next steps that we should do in terms of implementation. One is finalization and formal adoption of these validated documents, right? That is something that needs to be done. I'm sure the director and his team will put these things forward to the minister and the leadership at MOGDI to try to get an internal validation, and then of course to take these documents to the cabinet to get a governmental validation and adoption. And then of course, once that is done, to disseminate to the relevant agencies and the private sector partners, so that at least we are all in uniform in terms of how we tackle critical infrastructure information protection. And of course, one very important thing that I always talk about is building capacity to support compliance and enforcement. I think these are very important things that we have to do. So on that note, without wasting much time, I want to thank each and every one of you. And don't forget, please, when you go back, start as soon as possible to try and see how best you can implement some of the things that you have come across here. On that note, thank you so much.
The draft National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Policy, the regulation and mapping framework, the National Risk Register, and the guidelines for continuous risk assessment and capacity building. Each of these represent a milestone in our journey towards sovereign digital governance. This workshop was convened not as a formality, but as a forum of national ownership. Your insights, your critiques, your endorsements have elevated the quality and relevance of these deliverables. You have demonstrated that cybersecurity is not the domain of a single ministry. It is a shared national imperative and a collective responsibility. Let us bear this in mind, that the threats we face are real, they are evolving, and they are also borderless. You may recall the ransomware attacks of our financial institutions in the past, the exploitation of digital platforms to defraud citizens, the hijacking of people's social media accounts, and the impersonation of people who are just so innocent of what the perpetrators claim. These are warnings, and our response must be strategic, coordinated, unwavering, and firm. The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, under the National Cybersecurity Action Plan and Policy, has been entrusted with a mandate, but its success depends on you, on every institution represented here, on every sector that relies on digital infrastructure, and every citizen whose trust we must earn and protect. As we close this chapter, I urge you not to disengage. Validation is not the end. It is the beginning. The frameworks we have refined must now be implemented, monitored, and continuously improved. We must build capacity. It is key. Foster interagency or inter-institutional collaboration, and institutionalize the risk management as a culture, not a reaction. Let us commit, each of us, to being stewards of this digital transformation. Let us ensure that our critical services remain secure, our data remains protected, and our digital economy remains trusted and resilient. On behalf of the Honorable Minister, I extend heartfelt appreciation to the World Bank through the Western African Regional Digital Integration Program, specifically through its project coordinator. I also extend heartfelt appreciation to the Gambia ICT Agency, which has been a formidable partner in this discourse, especially through its Director General. And also to all the consultants, to all the participants, to all the critical stakeholders. Your dedication is shaping a future where the Gambia stands tall, resilient, secure, and digitally empowered. Let us leave this workshop not with closure, but with clarity. Not with finality, but with forward motion. Let us secure the Gambia's digital destiny together, because cybersecurity is indeed a collective responsibility. With that, I don't intend to hold you for long. We are at the tail end, and I wish to take this opportunity on behalf of the Honorable Minister, who couldn't be here due to unforeseen circumstances, to declare this workshop officially closed, and thank you for your kind attention.